event. We're really happy that you're here. We're about to go live in just a few moments. But before we lift off, there's a few important things we want to make sure that you're aware of so you get the best possible experience out of this. First of all, the sound current is supremely important to us, the musical experience. So if possible, we really encourage you to use good speakers or headphones to experience the class with. Second, if you have any pre-existing injuries, please take care of yourself, modify as you need to. Don't risk exacerbating an injury because of a yoga exercise. If you have any pre-existing medical conditions and you're not quite sure if this would be good for you, please consult with your primary healthcare practitioner and make sure it's the right thing for you. Also, make yourself relatively comfortable. You can use a cushion, and in fact, we encourage you in our seated positions, meditation practices, to use a cushion. It helps lift the heart up, keep the spine straight, and it's more ideal for the flow of energy in the body and for the meditation experience. You can even be sitting in a chair with feet flat on the floor for those of you that are unable to sit in a meditative sitting posture on the floor. Just use a chair, and for many of the exercises, that will work perfectly fine. And then lastly, if you're having any problems with the video streaming, try refreshing the page, or if you see a gear icon on the video, adjust your resolution. If you're new to this type of thing, just take care of yourself. If there's something that you don't quite understand, I wouldn't worry about it too much. Everything that needs to click will click after a few times of trying it out. Enjoy the experience. We're about to get started in just a moment. Greetings, everyone. Happy new moon time. Happy eclipse time. What a day. This one's kind of no ordinary eclipse just because there's so much happening all at once. Just a couple hours, just after 7 a.m. California time today, Saturn moved from Aquarius and to Pisces. And if you don't really pay attention to astrology, it's kind of okay. But that only happens once every 2.5 years, and it marks really a new era of each of our lives. Like, well, you say 2.5 years, you're in your whatever era, as we kind of move through the trajectory of our life. It's going to be a season, and there's a fundamental shift of that season right now, in which if you do pay attention to those types of things, I don't think it's necessary, but I think it's sometimes incredibly helpful, then you do notice that there's definite transits that happen that are trackable. And you can't ever really predict quite what they'll be, but you know there'll be a shift, and you know that there's going to be certain new domains of life that are going to kind of come into the forefront. That sometimes the relationship is at the forefront of the life. And because it needs to be, that's where the work is. Saturn shows you where the work is. And then if you work, and if you're cool with working, and you realize that actually when you work at things get better, then you're not so scared of work, not so scared of hard times, because then you recognize that actually inside of that is benevolence.
People get scared of Saturn because it rules the things that we don't like, sickness and suffering and death, but it also rules all types of wonderful things like hard work, like good sense of discipline. And people don't, this is more like austerities, but no, in order to have fun in life, also as we get older, you need a certain amount of discipline to go along with it, to balance it out. A certain amount of discipline keeps you alive. A certain amount of discipline keeps you healthy. A certain amount of discipline keeps the mind well contained. But tightness, uptightness, constricts, contracts to where then the prana can't flow. So the dance of life is, how do we find ease? This is what the zero gravity practices and teachings are about, which also today on this eclipse and new moon, we're initiating the zero gravity teachings in the Life Force Academy. And you say, well, it's not great to begin something on an eclipse. Well, unless that's true, not a day that they would recommend to propose, not a day to begin the new business, things that need to operate in the material world, but it's considered highly auspicious to begin a spiritual sadhana, to begin some sort of disciplined practice that opens you up into the real reality. It's considered highly auspicious to begin a practice on an eclipse. And so eclipses can bring quite magical things, but often they're edgy and challenging and difficult. And sometimes you'll notice you get natural disasters more often around eclipses. I don't know if they could actually look at this. We should be able to look at statistics around that. But I think most people who do statistics are not paying attention to subtle nuances yet, but more and more maybe we are as a human race as we go through all of the different trials and tribulations that we're going through as a collective. There's absolutely the possibility that we can allow all the very difficult things that happen that we all experience together as a collective to open us up, to help make us wiser, And so also that takes some discipline, because it's easy to get swung by all of the noise. And we're still trying to figure out as a species how to operate with these things, because they held a lot of power, and you can recognize, you can experience firsthand, for instance, an earthquake in Myanmar and Thailand, and seeing just tremendous suffering. And that's just one nowadays of like 100 things per day is what it feels like, the catastrophe. So that's why it remains super important to take care of one's joy. And to take care of joy doesn't mean that you are trying to feel cheerful about things that you don't feel cheerful about at all, but finding the things that are also present that you do feel cheerful about, and have enough discipline with the mind to not allow the mind to be swung too far into miseries. All of us have a dharma in life. There's no way we're going to get happy unless we're not going on the great heroic journey of discovering the dharma of each of our lives. And in the West, we're often contextualizing that as like career. But the career is just one of 12 domains of life, 12 houses. And so career will come to the forefront of your life for a season. And maybe many seasons, depending on all sorts of things. But all of us are not career-oriented in the same way. And so hopefully as a culture, as a human culture, we're evolving to also realize and recognize where sometimes as a collective we're overemphasizing certain domains of life. We overemphasize materialism, and you lose connectivity to the more subtle things that keep humans happy, like art, like theater, like poetry, like music. And when those things aren't emphasized in this society, we don't think the society is going to suffer tremendously. Of course it is. And you can just look through history and you see how when you lose these types of things, societies destroy themselves. So what we can do each individually is to kind of to work to be in attunement, and it's nothing that just reveals itself in all of a sudden. But my experience is it's a constant unfolding that really doesn't have I don't think it's not an ending point. It's not like something that you get to, but something more that you dwell in, that you're in courtship and concert with. Not something that is outside of us, but it's the feeling, it's experience of almost like your heart turning inside out, like a blossoming, like a flower blossoming of your heart. And that's not a blossoming that then blossoms and then wilts away, but the kind of mystical rose that's always blossoming, the continued blossoming. And that's what Kundalini is all about. That's what it is. It's not some unnatural thing. It's the experience of the human organism as this wonderful instrument that can bring you into deep bliss and real happiness. And that deep bliss and that real happiness will reveal your purpose to you. And so then it's not that you're trying to get away from the things of the world. You're trying to follow the path of your dharma that will often take you right into the middle of the things of the world, where work is to be done. Yeah? Follow the bliss. But even Joseph Campbell, I was told, said towards the end of his life that wouldn't it have been wiser if I would have said, follow your blisters? Because that's what it takes to follow your bliss. It takes doing sometimes the scary thing. Not just because I don't want to feel scared, but because that's where your path is. That's where the intuition is guiding you. That's how you know it's intuition. Often, not exclusively, but often how you know it's intuition is it's guiding you to the thing part of you doesn't want to do. But another deeper part of you knows this is the thing to do, because it's where you're going to find love somehow. But if we're all too much in the material domain of life, to where we're not dropping underneath the surface on a regular basis, so that all of that noise clears, and you connect into the center of life, of your life, of who you are, of what you are. And that's not an intellectual endeavor. That's an endeavor of numero uno, concentrating the chi prana. This is the zero gravity sequence. Number one, dharana, which is concentration of the chi. Dhara means a stream. Dhara. So dharana is a stream of awareness in a relatively singular direction. How do you do that in the yoga practice? Say, oh my mind, concentrate on this breath. And you close your eyes and you listen to it. But we notice as soon as we start to give our mind a single point of attention, it works for the first 5 to 10 seconds, and then something is spacing out. And it's this way and that way, quite naturally. The practice of dharana is to start to modify that tendency in the moment. Not by like over-contracting and being like, another thought that was a distraction. Allow the mind to do this, allow the mind to do that, yet don't allow the mind to be in charge. Okay, the mind is going to do this, the mind is going to do that, but oh my mind, concentrate on the breath. Kind of steward the mind gradually in that direction by every time you notice that the mind is going elsewhere from whatever the point of focus of the exercise, the kriya, is. Every time you notice, no problem. It's not an analyzation process. It's more of like a courtship. And if you're courtshipping with you shouldn't do that, you're never going to make love. It has to be something more gentle, something that doesn't contract so much, so tight. My experience with the beautiful way to work with the mind, because the mind's so powerful, it can take you into total misery, total tornado of anxieties. The mind and its flowing potent emotions, and sometimes even everything feels like it's crumbling. You can concentrate your chi, And then you can start to listen. Numero dos. Number one, dharana, concentrating the prana, chi, life force. Number two, sunya, listening. Because by listening, the mind opens and expands. Sound is the ether, the akasha, tattva, earth, water, fire, air, space. Earth is fragrance. Water is taste, emotion. Saliva, the watery parts of your body, the watery parts of your mind. Fire is digestion. Fire is sight. Fire digests, and it's like photons, the sun, light. When you have eclipse, you have the moon come in front of the sun. So the sun energy gets eclipsed. Sun is your sense of what you are. Sun is your sense of identity. What are you proud of? But not the sense of necessarily what you are at the level of the mind, but deeper, deeper down. Sun is what they call the Atma, the part of you that is a constant, the part of you that is non-dying, the part of you that was never born. The great constant is the sun from that mythological context. And so that's why eclipse is so powerful to have for yogic practices and things like that, because there's a kind of total thinning of the veil during that time. But that also makes things edgy and prone to accidents. I saw a guy wreck right in front of me yesterday. And sometimes if you paying attention, these types of kind of a little bit stormy energy, stormy astral weather can be worked with. Now, the advantage of working with it as a yogi is that you can use it to your advantage. And knowing when this type of thing is happening is like certain things are going to be less like, maybe I'm not going to Vegas this weekend. It's not going to be as supported, to use a dramatic example. But what will be supported is to go deep and to drop into a meditative zone. And that is also extremely pleasurable. These are not just austerities. These are ways of pleasuring oneself. These are ways of keeping connected to pleasure, so you stay connected to joy. Because even the most difficult times have the great superpower of kind of showing you yourself. And when you get that is revealed to you, the revealing of the self is like the revealing of the field of bliss. These are not fluffy concepts. These are not New Age concepts. Yogis have been working with these principles and practices for literally thousands of years that we know of, maybe even longer, but that we know of historically. And so this stuff is just effective and it works. And yes, we can try to live forever. Now all of our good new technologies that have people very interested in immortality. Can we keep these bodies immortal? And people become very obsessive about this. And that, I think it's so great that we can prolong life. As much as we can prolong life, we always want to, for sure, of course. We want to stay with our loved ones as long as possible. We want to experience what all this is as long as possible. We want to keep being creative, but sometime you're going to die. And so the real immortality is not trying to keep the body alive forever, but it's to have an experience of the part of you that is non-dying, and to allow that to continue to open and open and open and open, so that death is not some sort of hard thing at the end, but a continuation of what's already been happening, an opening, an experiencing, a kind of coming into more and more reality. And so that, you may find, is a very blissful thing. And it gives wisdom to all the other things in life, every different of the 12 domains. First house domain is your sense of what are you, your body, what are you in this lifetime? How are you made up of? What's your wiring like? What type of personality is there? What type of basic talent, strengths, and weaknesses are there? You can see that in the person's first house. Second house is your financial world and your resources and food and your close-knit family. Third house is a house of your siblings, if you have. It's the house of communication. It's the house of all the errands and the busy things that you're doing every day. Every time you're typing on your phone, this is happening in the third house. Every time that you're doing little errands here and there, this is happening in the third house. Yeah, eclipse happening in the third house. Maybe you might see an accident or something like this in that domain of life, your local hood, something like this. You know, you could also see something totally magical, and like a rainbows or something really odd and mystical. Eclipses are tough because what they do, you can prepare all you want, but what they tend to do is they get to you where you're not looking. And that's why they're so good, because they kind of reveal blind spots. And if you're interested in revealing blind spots, why? Because you know you're just getting happier, but in the moment it's tender and it hurts and it's hard. But you're willing to do the work because it's going to make you more blissful in the longer run. And that's cool, because bliss is a sustainable thing. It's not some fluffy thing that's stimulated out of superficial means, but it comes from the deep work and the opening that comes out of the deep work. So that's most beautiful. Fourth house is the house of mother and the home and your basic sense of satisfaction, happiness. Fifth house is romance and children and things that you're studying and prosperity. Fifth house. Sixth house is disease and health. Seventh house is marriage and partnership. Eighth house is unexpected transformation and change. Death, kundalini. Ninth house is your great dharma, your great purpose. 10th house is what you do in the world with that dharma. 11th house is what you attain from doing the dharma. 12th house is when it all goes back into the ocean of consciousness. And so that's what all of this activity in the sky right now, in this moment, Sun, Moon, Saturn, Rahu, Venus, Mercury, 6 of the planets, so meaning like most of the psyche, is dwelling in the constellation of Pisces, the natural 12th house, like the ocean of consciousness. So all of this brings a strong spiritual emphasis. Pisces is probably the most spiritual sign. It's the most etheric water sign. And so it's not like a dense water, but it's more like the subtle water, the ocean of consciousness. And that's a very blissful experience if you can kind of get inside of that. So that's what we're going to do today. That's to make all of this more simple. Is that what we're going to do today is concentrate the chi, listen, open up this expansive mind, and then third, so you can start to experience shunya, 0 point, zero gravity point. That takes a little bit of work, but today you'll get a nice taste of it, and to enjoy. It takes the anxiousness off the nervous system. It eases and soothes the mind. It opens up the channels that are quite pleasurable. But first, it takes a little bit of work. So please come on your hands and knees. We're going to start to move the body. We're going to start to soften up the spine. We're going to start to work with our breath. And we're going to start to concentrate the mind. So beginning cat-cow. Inhale, head is up. Exhale, head is down, as my friends here are doing. We're here in Life Force Academy studio in Northern California, and so happy to be here, coming to wherever you are. Thank you for being here. And bring your attention now to the breath rhythm. The breath is only through the nose. And you're inhaling as the head is up, exhaling as the head is down. And put your mind's awareness on only the breath, listening to the breath. And notice how the mind is either able or unable to keep its attention on the point of the breath.
And then try to maintain the mind's dwelling on the rhythm of the breath, the feel of the breath, the sound of the breath, nourishing the body, softening the spine, finding a nice rhythm for yourself. Just go your own pace. Inhale, head up. Exhale, head down. Okay, come sitting back up, please. These practices are for people of all ages, all different body types. There's not one way to do them. You do them how your body is able to do them, and you find rhythm within that, within your own body, and paying attention to your own body. At first, if you're brand new to this stuff, it takes a few times of doing it. You start to get the hang of it. It starts to come together. The nice thing is it's pretty simple. Ultimately, it's a pretty simple system, but there's a lot to explore within it and to keep you entertained. Hands are like this. Sit bones, make sure they're nicely connected down. Heart lifted up, shoulder blades release. And then just let it swing, inhaling to your left, exhaling to your right. Listen to the breath. It's like a good sniff in and a good sniff out. Finding a balance between kind of focused and penetrating and soft and smooth. Yeah? How can we do that? Through rhythm feel. So find a nice rhythm feel for your mind and your body, and just allow it to swing there. Today we're going to do a little work. We're going to move our bodies. We're going to make sure we're keeping our vitality strong. To the center, inhale deep. Suspension of the breath. Keep the breath and lift up through your pelvic floor, rectal sphincter, sex organ, up and in. Exhale. Keep the eyes closed down. Soften the inner gaze, slightly up and in, kind of gazing between the two eyebrows. And just soften there. Just try to allow the energy to dwell in that area as the breath comes in and out in some sort of nice meditative rhythm through your nose. That means you're just gently slowing the breath, not to where it's incredibly uncomfortable, but you're just gently starting to make the breath slightly slower and following its current with your mind's awareness as you do so. Inhale. Exhale. Hands to the knees. You're going to inhale up, exhale, release. Give it a nice strong breath. Inhaling up, exhale, release.
Inhale, squeeze up. Squeeze them up. And then exhale, release. Beautiful. Now what you're going to do is take the hands, the Gyan Mudra, index finger seals to your thumb, palms facing up, chest is lifted, shoulder blades are released. And we're going to inhale, and you're going to make this nice, easy, light, rhythmic breath. It's just like this. Keep it nice and light, but rhythmic. The exhale and the inhale are equal. Listen. Yeah, light, smooth, but its power comes from its kind of deep rhythm and navel movement. Now inhale deep. Suspension of the breath. Soften the mind. Listening. Through the nose, exhale. And please inhale deeply. And once again. A little stronger now. Inhale deep. Suspend the breath. That's keep it in, yet soften your chest and upper body and soften your mind. Lift up the pelvic floor. Exhale through your nose. Uno más. Inhale. Inhale deep. Lift up the pelvic floor, rectum, sex organ, then navel, up and in. Soften the chest, soften the mind. Exhale. We're getting nice. Okay, some work to do though. Come onto your backs, please. Okay, you're gonna hug the knees to the chest. You're gonna prepare for stretch pose. Nima can show us. She's gonna inhale into the posture like this. Toes are pointed, eyes on the toes, and that breath. Same breath. And it's moving your navel point. The abdomen just underneath your belly button. Okay? If it strains your low back, your hands under your butt, palms facing down or in fists, and protect don't strain. So if you're straining, hands under your butt, works great like that. Over time you'll develop strength and they won't be necessary. Hug the knees to the chest, my friends. Everybody bring the knees to the chest and hug the nose up to the knees. Exhale here, and then inhale into the position. And move the navel with the breath. Eyes on the toes. Pelvic floor lifted in. Shoulder blades release. Point the toes. Rhythm the breathing. Move your navel point with the breath. Deeper with the navel point. Pelvic floor in. Hold the position. Inhale deep. Pelvic floor in, navel in, and relax. Good, that was round one, but we want to build deeper, a little bit deeper. Hug the knees into the chest. Inhale, bring the nose up to the knees. Exhale here. Come into the position with good courage. Inhale deeply. Eyes on the toes, mind in the breath rhythm. Now this time, don't allow the mind to freak out and cause it to dwell on the pranic breath. The breath is the carrier of your life force. Put it in a rhythm, move your navel point. Concentrate the chi by bringing the mind to the breath. And tap your vitality. Ten seconds. Deep inhale. Hold the position. Rectum, sex organ in, navel in, and relax. And fully just soften, relax, let go, relax onto your back. Allow the chest to soften, allow the mind to soften. Even the spine can soften. The hands can soften. The bottoms of your feet can soften. Softening the thighs and the whole pelvic bowl. Softening the sexual organ. Softening the belly. Softening the chest and the breasts and the arms. And the lower arms, softening through the fingers and through your toes. Softening the top of your head. Softening the flow of the emotion. Not repressing, softening. Softening the thinking mind. Just softening the face muscles, softening the lips and softening the tongue. Softening even in the nostrils and in your frontal lobe and the forehead. Softening. And let the beautiful breath move through that precious body and mind of yours. It's actually majestically beautiful, but our minds are often convincing us that we're not beautiful. The mind is so hypnotic, so if you just let it do whatever it's gonna do, it's easy to fall into self-loathing states. It's easy to fall into like self-superiority states or self-inferiority states, either of the poles. Strong ego, weak ego. So what Ayurveda, yoga, and Tantra does, it puts the ego in service of the Dharma of life. Sometimes you'll need strong ego, sometimes very humble. Hug the knees to the chest. Bring the nose up to the knees. Shoulder blades release. Inhale. Maintaining this position, same breath. Move your navel point. Inhale. Squeeze up. And relax. Very beautiful. So relax for a few moments. Let's warm the heat in here a little.
Hug the knees to the chest. Rock and roll on your spine. The thing about, I think, these next 3 months, you're going to have to work harder than you want to. Okay, come up. Especially right now, you have to work harder than you want to usually in a moment like this. It's not pushing oneself beyond one's vitality, but it is cutting through complacency. You know, cutting through stuckness. Keep it moving. Because sometimes the most important times to exercise are the times we don't want to. And that's why it's nice to have a sadhana, some sort of consistency of practice, because you don't really leave it up to those things. You're always just doing it because it's going to prove over and over again. It's going to produce major dividends, you know, to use our capitalistic languages. Okay, so next one, arms are at 60 degrees. Thumbs are out, fingers are tucked in. 60-degree angle, inhale deeply. Exhale, release your shoulder blades. Inhale deeply, hold this position, and once again, that same breath. Zero gravity doesn't just happen, you know. But there's technique. There's disciplines that are really very sophisticated arts. They're sciences and they're arts. They're the healing arts. They're the yogic arts. So the art here is to put your breath in the rhythm, to maintain the angle of the posture, to draw the inner gaze, softening up and in slightly, and cause the optic nerve to dwell in that direction. And bring the mind's awareness to the breath rhythm. These are your anchor points. Use any of them, use all of them. And as the mind floats this way or that way, always drawing it back into the anchor point, dharana. It never is boring to do dharana. As boring is actually that which is needing to be cut through. When one finds self bored, it's because the mind is just kind of wandering aimlessly. In the practice of a kriya, the mind is concentrating itself into the point of focus. And by doing so, gradually the prana will start to gather in the central channel. And the magic that occurs is you no longer have to try. Eventually, with enough persistence, the mind's resistance will break down, and you go into a meditative zone, and it becomes effortless, and that effortless is bliss. But not only is it a state of pleasure, it's a field of wisdom. It revitalizes the body. It gives energy into the brain tissue. It balances the glands and the hormones. It builds vitality for the nervous system. It gives the organs more vigor. It balances the fire and decreases the inflammations with the rhythm smooth. Make it strong if you wish, but never not smooth. Softening is about rhythm feel. No bend in the elbow, almost there. Stay with it. Listening, the breath, the rhythm. Dwell in the rhythm. Seconds go. hold the position. Make your thumb tips touch above your head. Open the fingers, stretch them wide, and tense your fingers tight as steel. Stretch up through your spine, tense the fingers tight like steel. Stretch up, 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 up. Stretch up, up, and relax. Slowly relax. Keep the eyes closed down. Don't be moving on already to the next thing, but rather now, just be totally still with your body. Feel and witness your breath, your energy, your sense of presence. Inhale, exhale. Okay, we're gonna do something fantastic, this little 3-part sequence, but first stretch your legs out wide like a V shape. As I explain this, we're gonna open the life nerve. You're gonna inhale, lifting up, exhale, fold to either side. Inhale, lifting, exhaling, fold down to either side. No need to touch the toes, feet are flexed. Toes engaged, groin areas relaxed, and every inhale you really fill your lungs, and every exhale you kind of opening. You're not in a rush. Take deep, nice breaths and create a nice rhythm for yourself. And with every breath, with every inhale, fill the lungs. With every exhale, opening. It's not self-improvement as much as it's self-nourishment. Even self-exaltation. If we're suffering from self-loathing, we can provide our mind and our body with the equal and opposite antidote. And you can start to tune into your magnificence. It's not magnificence because of your social situation, or whether you have a relationship or you don't have a relationship. Whether you got a bunch of money right now or you don't, or like hurting for money. None of this. This isn't the domains that we're dwelling in at the moment. We're concentrating on the breath. And by doing so, opening the subtle channels so we can start to experience the more substantive parts of ourselves. Subtle is substantive. Dense changes easily, just as the body ages. If the mind is too grasping on it, as the body ages, the mind will get more and more depressed. But if you're connecting into the subtle nature, you're locating the great constant. And that experience will show itself to you as the flow of your life's dharma. Turns you towards purpose. This is the art of yoga. Then you can give pleasure to your mind and your body, no matter the circumstance. And you can move through anything life brings you. Inhale out and shake out your legs. Okay, so here's what you're going to do. You're going to have your thumbs to the base of your pinky finger. Then pinky and ring goes over the thumb. Index and middle fingers are out like this. Okay? So then they point to each other like this. Then what's going to happen is you're going to exhale very powerfully through the nose. It's so powerful actually that your nose wrinkles like like that. And then through the O-shaped mouth you inhale.
as they kind of draw back in. So when you inhale, they draw back in like. When you exhale, it's immediate there. When you inhale, they draw back in towards your heart center there, like this. Okay? Like that. Now here's the thing. Eyes go to the tip of your nose. So you kind of close your eyes partly down, and you can follow your finger and touch the tip of your nose. There it is. And you just do your best to kind of keep dwelling the opened, slightly opened gaze towards the tip of the nose. This is for the whole frontal lobe, frontal cortex of the brain. Okay? It's an amazing experience. Take it easy with yourself. Never overdo it. Anytime you need to relax, relax. It's not about overdoing it. It's not about like trying to blow the top off the thing at all. It's about putting energy and rhythm, opening up the channels, but then really kind of concentrating it. So it's bring the energy out. Then it's gonna dwell, and it's gonna enjoy it. It's a process of enjoyment. So don't overdo it. Okay, you're gonna go. Draw it in. Pop and draw it in. Every exhale, the nose wrinkles. And then with the inhale through the O-shaped mouth, you draw it in. And then you exhale powerfully through the wrinkled nose. Then you draw it in. Eyes on the tip of the nose. Make your movement precise. Just straight forward and draw it in. Tip of the nose gaze. Seconds. Now inhale through your O-shaped mouth. Hold the position and squeeze the spine and lock your back molars. Lift up through your pelvic floor. Lock the back molars. Through the mouth like a cannon. Exhale. Inhale. Lift up the pelvic floor. Rectum, sex organ, navel in. Squeeze your spine. Lock the back molars. Squeeze the spine. Lock the back molars. Exhale. One more. Mulaban, the spine. Lock the back molars. Squeeze the fingers. Squeeze the arms. Squeeze the spine. Exhale. And then just keep the eyes closed down and relax the posture. Listening. Two more exercises. Here's what you do. This time the thumb holds down the pinky and the ring finger like this. And you're gonna go outward circles, tight away from you circles like this. Yeah? This might be the most exciting thing you do all day. Okay? O-shaped mouth. Finger it like this, like this, like this, like this. Yeah? very tight. And then the O-shaped mouth. And then you move your diaphragm, and it makes a sound to move the diaphragm, like you try to move your diaphragm as quickly as possible using that sound. Doesn't have to be loud, but you want to feel the diaphragm move. And move quick. It's not long, but it kind of takes all of it. It takes all of you to do this exercise. Super tight, quick, and move the diaphragm. Gaze the tip of the nose. Tip of the nose. Yeah? Ida Pingala, centripetal centrifugal force. Firm fingers, tight, spinning. The whole spine shakes from it, and then move the diaphragm. Just do the best. You have to move the diaphragm. Keep going. When we do kids yoga, they love this stuff. Adults, you have to work harder with. Yeah, move the diaphragm. It feel good, actually. Almost done. 15 seconds. Full speed. Through the mouth, inhale. Squeeze your spine and press your two lips together. Press the lips as powerfully as you can. Lift the pelvic floor, squeeze the spine, squeeze the fingers, press the lips, press them like a cannon. Exhale. Inhale. Squeezing the spine, press the two lips together, lift the pelvic floor. Exhale. Last one. Rula, squeeze the spine, arms, fingers, press your two lips, press them, squeeze deep, press them, press, relax. Listening. The practice of listening is a practice of enjoyment. And sound opens the mind. Sound is the ether element. Listening. Final one, my friends. Your index and middle fingers are out like this, and you hold down the pinky and the ring, same mudra. Then they come like this. This is the most difficult of all of the three, I think, for most people, I think. But don't worry, okay? Like this. Then, if my palms are facing forward, then my palms are facing up towards the ceiling. Then I'm even trying to twist further. So I'm twisting my inner elbow up towards the ceiling, but trying to keep the chest lifted, sit bones connected, shoulder blades release, chin ever so slightly in, like this. Yeah? So if my palms are facing forward in the mudra, then I would bring the palm side of the hand up towards the ceiling, then keep going, turning around, but keeping the heart lifted up and the shoulder blades released down, best that you can. Now, in this position, slightly open your eyes, gaze towards the tip of the nose, and make your breath as long, as slow, but as deep as possible. A very difficult posture. Now try to keep it. Changes the whole serum of your spine. You'll see. Give it a try. Try to keep your focus on the breath and the gaze. As the mind starts jumping, keep bringing your awareness to the point of focus. Dharana can be especially learned in moments of great difficulty. So in this moment, put extra effort into keeping the point of focus, and that will carry you. More difficult it is, that much deeper comes the breathing. Seconds. We've got this. Tip of the nose. Stay with the breath. Inhale deeply. Hold the position. Lift the pelvic floor and navel. Turn the arms to their maximum and lock the back molars. Twist the elbow, inner elbow to its maximum. Hold the posture through your nose. Exhale. 2 more only. Inhale. Inner elbow twist to the maximum. Lock your back molars. Lift the mulabandha, rectum, sex organ, navel. Hold the position through your nose. Exhale. Last one. Stay with it. Inhale deeply. Twist the inner elbow. Lift the root lock. Lock the back molars. Change your skull bone. Exhale and slowly, slowly bring the hands down. Close your eyes and feel the space of your spine and feel the energy of the body and of the mind and of the field of presence. In this listening space, please relax onto your backs. Very important, relax onto your backs. Relax onto the ground. And continue the practice of softening, listening, enjoying. moving your fingers and toes, rotating your wrists and ankles. Rub the palms, make some heat, some friction. Rub the soles of the feet, make some heat, some friction. Cat stretch to each side. Yeah, final meditation. This one's so beautiful. So if you can really bring your full presence into it for this final section, I think you'll find it quite magical. Come sitting up. So what you're gonna do, and the key is to hold the body as very still in this position. You take your hands kind of in fists with the thumbs out. But then you take the middle knuckle, the middle finger is Saturn's finger, index is Guru, Jupiter, middle is Shani, Saturn, Surya, Sun is the ring finger, and Buddha, pinky, is Mercury. So in this case, you're going to take the middle knuckle of your Saturn finger, middle finger, on both hands are touching, and then the thumb tips touch, like this. Then you hold it like this, right in front of your heart center. Forearms parallel to the ground, like so. And then so it's lifted chest, but soften the shoulders down. Chin is ever so slightly in. Sit bones connected. Usually we use a little cushion to just prop yourself up a touch. Heart lifted, shoulder blades released. Find a way that you can do it in a regal. You can do it sitting on a chair if you can't sit on the floor. But hold the body in a regal disposition. Close your eyes. And imagine and even feel energy between the two knuckles connecting. And through the pads of the thumbs connected. Breathe now, long, slow, and deep through the nose, and follow the breath current with your mind's awareness. Follow the breath as the current of life force. As the mind goes jumping or drifting, and oh my mind, dwell on the blissful breath, listening. Hold the body perfectly still. Follow the breath current. And for the next few minutes, try not to budge. Developing a magnetic field within the context of the kriya, the mudra, the body position, the disposition. The energetic connections. Follow the breath. Listen. Stay steady, stay the course. Last stretch. Follow the breath. Stay steady. Final 60 seconds. Follow the breath. Hold the position, exhale. Inhale deeply through your nose. Suspend the breath and be perfectly still, listening. And slowly exhale, relax. And in this space, give a nice wish for your life in this season of your life, this new, brand new season of your life. In this moment of tremendous potency, beam your mind, your heart, from your heart into the great heart, and give your wish. And then bring your loved ones into mind and feel how much love is there, and give a beautiful wish. And let the sound carry it into all of time and space. And think of all the world and all life, all sentient life. And feel the tremendous love there. give a wish. Let the sound take it, all time and space. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, stretch your arms up. Stretch up. Just shake a little. Getting the energy distributing a little bit in your body. Relax. Very beautifully done. So the nice thing about all of these is that really anyone can do them. Although the zero gravity work we do is in a certain way more of like intermediate, and the nice thing about Kundalini Yoga and the way we work with it in Life Force Academy is you can kind of jump in wherever. And if you're already doing, for instance, like Life Force Academy member portal, and you're doing the 40-day meditation or whatever you're doing, the courses are where you take a deep dive and you develop crucial skills. And so doing the zero gravity work is like spending the next 2 to 3 months, it's not a huge commitment, but it's like a few hours a week. A few hours a week, along with a little bit of daily practice, is a life-changing experience. Period. When you're putting that much energy into working on your happiness, working on your vital energy, working on your meditative capacity, that's what zero gravity is. It's teaching you these crucial fundamentals that take you into the inner consciousness, into the field of intuition, into the kind of field of your path, and these types of things. And it sounds, maybe far out, and it is kind of far out, but it's far out in the most lovely way and human way. It's opening up into what our lives are all about. It's being connected to our sense of purpose. First, session 1 is opening the subtle channels. Session 2, and each of these sessions are quite extensive, so you can do 1 a week. The other way that you can use the zero gravity training is you do the whole thing in 4 days. You do 2 sessions per day for 4 days. You invite your bestie. You block off it as nothing else is happening really those days, because it's like a personal retreat. Eat some good food, do some amazing, and by the 3rd day you wish it was longer, because it's such a lovely way to live. But of course it only lasts 4 days, and there's all these other responsibilities of life that will come back in. But it's an amazing experience to do it that way. What most people will do is take 1 session per week for the next 8-ish weeks. Some sessions have 2 parts, and you might even take 2 weeks to get through 1 session. It's flexible. You can use it as you wish. But it's an amazing course. We filmed it at the incredible Mount Madonna Center in the Catskills of upstate New York. And all of this music, or much of this music you've been hearing, and this session was recorded during these sessions. So about half the sessions I have these musicians with me, and they're playing to these practices. And then for everyone who gets the course, we're giving the whole suite of the music that was created during this, because what we do, and then we take, after the course is filmed, we take my voice out of the music, and then you have the musical pieces that are amazing. And so that's part of this course as well. If you've been taking my classes the last few months, all the music you've been hearing me play is from this zero gravity. It's one of my favorite things we've done. It's so cool. It's very deep. It has a special session where Tenzin Bob Thurman teaches to us, and he's one of the great teachers, really wisdom keeper of the Buddha's Dharma and the Tibetan Buddhism, particularly in the Western world. So many of us, myself is included, grew up reading his books and learning about these incredible things. And so Bob is, I was just in India with him in Dharamshala for a week. It was an amazing experience, but where this was filmed is Menla, is their extraordinary retreat center in the Catskills, run by Tibet House. And he gives the wisdom teachings on this course as well. So that's a special treat inside of all this. But most of the sessions you're going to work out, you're going to get in shape. And this was a little bit of a taste of it tonight. So with all these things happening in our world, I want to invite you to do something during this time that I think you will find would be a tremendous anchor. Something that you can not only rely on as something you can always dip back into. This isn't the type of course you just do it once and then you're kind of done with it. You're going to have your favorite parts of it. Oh, that part of that session, I'm going to go and do that this afternoon because I know what it's going to do for me. It brings you inside of these teachings, and it shapes open the view that allows us to kind of stay in touch with our sense of purpose, stay in touch with our joy, keep the mind good. And then these practices that you're going to learn and do, it's very much an experiential course. You'll see. And if you get the course and for any reason decide it's not for you, let our team know within 60 days. We guarantee our courses. So I want to invite you to jump in for this. We are just opening it up. We also have a free training happening this week where it's a 3-part series where I'm teaching more of a little bit of what we were doing today, Dharana, Shunya, 0 point, this focusing, listening, and then going into 0 point. A little taste, but the more you work with it, the more you can actually do it. And if you're learning, that's why the course is Zero Gravity, Awakening Inner Bliss, because that is the result. That soothes the anxiousness and the worries, calms them and lightens the heaviness and depression. And it's not an escape, it's not an escape. It's a going into life. And I think you'll find it wonderful. And for everyone, for right now, and this week only, it's on a great discount for the opening of it as a course, and it's like almost 50% off. All of the things are here. There's a payment plan if you want to do half of it now, and you have access to all of it. You just pay the half right now. Okay, so you're invited and encouraged to, if you want to, initiate for the next maybe couple of months, or have it available to you since it's a good deal right now. You have lifetime access when you get these. So thank you so much for being here today and for sharing this special day with us at Life Force Academy. Thanks to the whole LFA team who works so very hard to make these things happen. And okay, let's take the hands in the prayer mudra to seal the session. Exhale. Beautiful. Thank you, everybody. Happy new moon. Happy eclipse time. Okay, take care. Have fun. See you very soon.